Martha Monday. This is Cross My Heart Ministry, and I'm Laura McFarland. Now that COVID seems to be clearing out and summer is here, all of us are getting into our cars and we're driving and we're spending all that gas money that we didn't spend last year. So if your family is getting in the car and taking off on vacation or just driving across town, I want to share today with this Martha Monday my top 10 car tips. I like to keep things organized in the house, and sometimes here on Martha Monday, I'm doing some organizational tips or some household cleaning tips or some recipes inside the house. But today I want to share some ideas for a space that's often overlooked, and that's our car. Our vehicle is a place where, let's face it, we spend a lot of time. And if you're a mom still with kids at home, you're doing a lot of shuttling back and forth to soccer practice and piano lessons and a zillion other things. But even if you're an empty nester like me, you spend some time in your car, and keeping the car tidy and organized and having a plan to make sure you don't forget the things that you need when you go someplace in your car might be helpful. So today I want to share top 10 tips. I'm starting off here in the house because my first item on my top 10 tips for the car is a little tote. Now mine isn't huge. You may want to use a little tote bag that's a little larger than this, perhaps not. But what I do is I keep this little handy dandy bag in my laundry room and available, and all the things that I need to take with me to do my errands go in my bag. So for example, I have my list and my coupon to go to Walgreens. I have my grocery list for the grocery store. I have a couple of other little things I need to drop off with a friend. Sometimes there's a bank deposit in here. I need to go through the drive-through because I'm that old school lady that still likes to do that and greet the tellers there. They know me by name. I don't like to use that app, so I still do go to the bank. There may be a letter I need to mail at the post office or some other item that I need for when I go out on my errands. So that's what goes inside. My tote bag also has a couple of added features. It's got these little pockets on the side. And so I have a couple of things that I just leave in here so they're available if I need them. An extra thing of sanitizer, a fingernail file in case there's a snag, a little handy dandy first aid kit. I think it just has some antibacterial cream and some Band-Aids in here, but good to have if you need it. And then some tissues. So those are on that end. And then on the other end are some note cards, because sometimes you get stuck, you're waiting. For example, I picked my daughter up at the airport a couple of nights ago. The flight was supposed to get in at 9. It didn't get in until 10. So there's usually a note that I need to write, an encouraging note or a thank you note. So I just leave some note cards with the envelopes in my bag, and if I ever have a little bit extra time and I'm stuck, I just always like to have something I can work on. There's a little notepad here in case I need to write anything down, and also some Post-it notes if I need those. So always have a pen in here to check things off my list as I do my errands. So come with me. I'm going to let you see inside my garage, so we're really getting to be good friends now because you're seeing a part of the house that's not always company ready. And I'm going to take my tote bag and we'll go on out to the car for my remaining 9 tips. Let's go. Okay, so welcome to my garage. I got my handy dandy little tote. I'm going to stick that in the front passenger seat so it's accessible. It's accessible while I'm driving, so I'll stick that up front. But I want to start here in the back because I want to share with you this little tiny cube that can pack a whole lot of stuff. So I recommend having a little car cube, I'm going to call it. That's item number 2, car cube. And this can include whatever you need that you think you might need available in your car. So this little binder has some coupons, especially the ones that I always seem to forget that I need when I get across the way are the coupons to Bed Bath & Beyond. These are 20% off, but there's some really good ones in there too. Those rare finds that are $10 off 30. The thing, this is a little added tip, the thing about Bed Bath & Beyond coupons is they never expire. Even though there's an expiration date, if you try to use them online, they do respect that expiration date, but if you use them in the store, it doesn't matter. The other thing is, if you have 5 items, you can use 5 coupons. They don't limit you to using 1 coupon per transaction, so that's just a little bonus tip. The other things that I have stuck in here are the item to scrape the windshield. Now, it is hot in Arkansas today. It's June, but I just leave this in my car all the time because I will forget to put it in when it gets to be December and January. And if it lives in my car tote, it's always here. Also have in here an extra mask or two. Hopefully those are going to be a thing of the past, and one of these days a grandchild will find that and say, what is this? And we long for that day, don't we? And then I've got just a Ziploc bag with lots of funky little things. You may not need any of these. These are all optional, just to give you ideas of things you might need. A deck of cards. When our kids were all at home, I just found that sometimes we would go in and we would order a pizza, or we'd be at a restaurant. It would take a while, so we might get a deck of cards and play while we're waiting. So I just leave a deck of cards in here. In here is, I got these little lights someplace, I can't remember where, but it's just sort of lights up, and it can be helpful for a variety of reasons, for safety reasons, or to light the way, or whatever. They can flash, so different ways. So I stuck those in there thinking I might need it. I was at the dentist one time. This is a disposable, one-time use toothbrush. They gave this to me, and I thought, you know, maybe I'll be out someplace and I won't have a toothbrush and I'll need it. So I just was going to pitch it because I didn't want it, and then I thought, oh, I can put that in my car tote. I have in here a poncho, so maybe I'll need a rain poncho when I'm out someplace, who knows. So anyway, there's a pair of scissors in here, there is a clothespin, there is a measuring tape, because sometimes you may be at a garage sale and you are measuring a bookcase that you might want to buy, and you want to figure out if it's going to fit in your car or if it's going to fit in that space that you have at home, and you call your husband and say, honey, how much space is there between the bed and the corner of the wall upstairs in that bedroom? And he says, why are you asking? And then you have to admit that you're thinking about buying yet another chest of drawers or bookcase or whatever, but he will acquiesce, he'll go measure, and then he'll measure on his end, you'll measure on your end, and you'll know that it fits before you buy it and bring it home. There can be a lot of reasons to need a measuring tape. So you can decide what are the items that you might need to have available in your car while you're on the road, while you're doing different errands. But if you buy one of these cubes and it all fits in here, it's just all in a nice spot. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's not in the way. Now, I pulled out some extra things that I think you need to keep in your car, even if you do not buy the car tote. So this is going to be number 3, disposable bags. So when I say disposable bags, what I'm talking about is a Walmart bag. There are just times you're going to need a Walmart bag in the car. There's going to be something sticky, you've taken your grandchildren for ice cream, or there's trash in your car, or what have you. And so rather than have Walmart bags stuck under the seat or just all over the place and looking messy, what I like to do, you don't need a bunch of them. I kept an empty paper towel roll. I stuffed these in here, and so I probably have 4 or 5 Walmart bags available at the ready. In my car, they live in my car tote. If you don't want to invest in the car tote and you don't think that's necessary, this will go nice and neat either under your seat or in that little flap behind one of your passenger, your driver's seat, and it's just easy to reach in there and whip one out. If people are eating in your car and you want to have all the trash corralled, this is just an easy way to have something available, easy and available, and keeping it neat. I think it's always important to keep a bottle of water in the car. You may get stuck in traffic, you may have an aspirin in your purse and you get a headache, so this is number 4. You want to have a water bottle available. So I just always leave one in my car, and I keep it in my car tote, but again, you could put that in one of your beverage holders in the back seat or someplace, just so you have it available. Okay, number 5, reusable bags. Now, you probably already keep these in your car, but as we're all trying to be environmentally mindful and not always bring home a zillion bags that just get recycled or thrown away, I usually keep 4 or 5 of these available, and when I go into the grocery store, if they're here, in my case, in my car tote, but available, that I don't have to get to the grocery store and say, forgot my reusable bags again. So usually what I do, I have my reusable bags, I get them out of the car, I take them into the grocery store, I fill them up. After I unload everything and put my groceries away, there are those bags. And so I just take them and hang them on the doorknob going out into the garage if I don't want to come all the way out here and pop the trunk. Just put them there so next time you get in your car, you see your bags hanging there on the doorknob and it's your reminder, oh, grab those, put them back in the car. That's where they live. They do you no good if they lay around in the kitchen and then you're at the grocery store and you need them. So those are the first few tips. So we've got 1 through 5, and let's get into the car now and start with number 6. Let's go around to the driver's side. Okay, I've got my driver's side door open. I have my little tote. So usually when I come out to the car and I'm carrying this, I just go ahead and toss it over on the passenger side so that it's all set and ready to go, and I can grab things out of it as I go through the drive-thru at the bank, or I can grab it as I'm ready to run into Walgreens or Walmart or Aldi or wherever I'm going. So that sits up in the front seat with me. Now, the next tip, number 6, is a little duster here. Now, I may have gotten this at the dollar store, I'm not sure, but it comes off, which is really nice, and you can shake it or go ahead and wash it. But it's just a handy little duster that fits on here like so and wraps around. I love this little thing because you know the part of your car that always seems to get dusty and dirty is the dash. So I call this the dash duster, and it lives right here so it's easy. So the thing that I use this for is while I'm pumping gas, because you see, I'm kind of that girl that doesn't like to waste any time. I'm always looking for a way to make every minute count. So you can, when you're pumping your gas, you can let it kind of pump for you. You know, put that little flap down and it just pumps by itself and you don't have to babysit it. So wow, I've got a minute of time that I can use, so why not dust my dash? So while my gas is pumping itself, I grab this thing out of my little door and I go in here and I just dust everything that I don't think about dusting any other time. And I wipe it all off and I dust it all real well and I reach up inside and then I give that thing just a real good shake and I leave all the dust there at the gas station before I come home, and I give it a look and remind myself if I need to take this off and wash it later, and usually it's okay. I just shake it off and then stick it right back in here, and about the time I get it back in the door, ding, I hear the gas pump kick off telling me that my tank is full. So I have done some multitasking even at the gas station. So that's number 6. Go to the dollar store or someplace at a department store and get yourself what I call the handy dandy dash duster. Okay, come around to the other side and watch me for the last 4 items that I want to share. Okay, I'm in the driver's side now, all in my car, and got you on the other side ready to go on to item number 7, and that is hand sanitizer. Now, long before there was COVID, our family always kept hand sanitizer in the car. When we would get back in, my husband would pass it around to all of us and the kids, and it would be time to wash off the Walmart or wash off the Aldi or wash off the McDonald's or wash off the soccer field, as he would say. So wherever we had been, we just have always made it a habit to sanitize, and that was even before COVID, and we're going to continue that habit after COVID. So I just always leave that here in my little console, where after I pump gas or after I get back in from wherever I've been, I just do some hand sanitizer. If you don't have this space, use a cup holder or maybe your console or wherever. But that's item number 7, have some hand sanitizer handy. Number 8 is quarters. Now, a medicine bottle is usually the perfect size to hold a quarter. So for years, I just had a medicine bottle in my console filled with quarters, because sometimes you're going to be going through a toll road. If you shop at Aldi like I do, you need a quarter for that. There's just times that a quarter is going to come in handy. My new car has a little spot for change here, so I just have my quarters sitting in here and it's absolutely perfect. So that's number 8. You could even, maybe you just want to go through the drive-thru at your bank and get a roll of quarters and keep those in the console out of sight. You don't want to invite or entice someone to break your window to grab your quarters. Okay, number 9 is compliments of my husband. This is a little car maintenance journal. So each time we get a new vehicle, my husband will buy a little notebook and stick it in the glove box. And in that notebook, he keeps a record of when he changes the oil, when we got new tires, when there was an air filter change. He'll put the type, how many quarts of oil, what brand was used, the model number, what have you. If there's been a repair, he'll note that in here. And when we have sold our cars, the dealership is always impressed. And also if we sell it private party, the person buying our car is always very impressed that my husband maintains a complete maintenance record. And for some reason, it just seems easy to keep that in the car, that in a file inside the house. So this is compliments of Dr. McFarland, who has his PhD in mechanical engineering and who has always done a great job of maintaining our cars. So that's number 9. Okay, so come on around to see number 10. I'm going to have you zoom in a little closer so you can see this last little tip, little fun fact that you may not know. Okay, the last final number 10 on my top 10 car tips is really just a perhaps unknown fact to you. You probably know where your gas tank is on your car, but sometimes you're driving your mom's car if you go to visit her, or you're driving your sister's car, or you may have flown someplace and you're in a rental car and you don't know which side the gas tank is on. So instead of pulling in and having a 50-50 chance, and of course it's always on the other side, the easy way to always know that is to look at the little gas tank symbol on the console. Now you may know this fact, but I did not. It took me a while to figure it out. Do you see that little gas tank symbol down there by the E on my tank indicator? You see the little triangle to the right. It's on the right side, and so what that tells us is that the gas tank in this car is on the right side of the car. If it's on the other side, then of course the gas tank is on the left side. So that's just a little fun fact to help you out if you're driving a car that's not yours, or you're in a rental, or what have you. Well, thanks for spending this time with me. I hope that my top 10 tips are inspiring, and I hope they give you an idea about keeping your car organized, clean, tidy, and having things with you when you need them. Leave me a note below and let me know which one of my top 10 tips has given you an idea to add to your life and to your car. For Cross My Heart Ministry, I'm Laura McFarland. Thanks for spending this time today with me in my garage. Have a blessed week.